Here's one of the latest interviews from Rock and Metal Revival. If you want to hear the whole show, go to rmrshow.com. There's Mike LePond's Silent Assassins with Apocalypse Ride on Rock and Metal Revival. And, dude, I am so digging this CD.
Dude, I am too. I loved all the bass solos and stuff, man.
And being a guitar player, that's a lot saying that. And we are very honored and happy to have him on the show with us today, Mr. Mike LePond. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Hey, thanks, guys. Pleasure to be on.
Hey, Mike, you're pretty much known as a member of Symphony X, and I guess I want to know how long you had the idea of doing a solo project, and how long had you been working on those songs before you actually got this album out?
Yeah, well, I always had a first love for classic heavy metal, and Symphony X. We're known as, one of the most popular progressive metal bands out there these days, and so I always wanted to do just like a heavy metal album, and this was in my mind, I guess, for the last maybe 10 years or so. So when we came out with our last album back in 2011, I knew we had a pretty extensive touring schedule coming up. It was going to be about 2 years, so I decided that would be a perfect time to finally try to do this. So what I did was, on the tour bus, we would tour the USA, we would tour Europe. So I would wake up before everybody and start working on songs little by little each day, sometimes some music, sometimes some lyrics. And then by the end of our touring schedule, I actually had it all done, so it worked out really perfectly.
Nice.
Well, the one thing I like about it is how heavy the sounding is, and now it features Metal Mike, and he's played with the likes of Halford and Testament. How did the two of you get together?
Well, Metal Mike lives here where I live, which is in New Jersey, and I've probably known him for about 10 years or so, and I've done some things for him. I actually played on his solo album, which he did maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. So, so we've been really good friends, and, I respect him very much as a great guitar player, and he's so well known. He only lives like a half hour away, so I figured he would be perfect because I know he really likes this style of music, and he would do a really great job. So when he heard it, he loved it, and he knew exactly what to do with it.
Nice. So who are some of your favorite bass players?
Well, I started out, when I was younger, my favorite bass player was Gene Simmons, and then I started to get into Steve Harris from Iron Maiden and Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath,
nice.
And then Joey DeMeo from Manowar. So I think those guys, well, actually Geddy Lee too of Rush.
Oh yeah.
So those guys, I think, kind of sum up what my style is, even though there are some guitar players I'm actually influenced by that I kind of listen to their stuff and try to play it on the bass. Guys like Richie Blackmore.
Nice.
So yeah, all that stuff together kind of sums up my style.
Sweet.
Now, your vocalist, Alan, he put in a superb performance on this album. A lot of people probably hadn't heard him before. His Silent Assassins gig. Now, what had he had done before he hooked up with you?
Sure. Well, Alan is another guy from here in New Jersey, and he's done some stuff here and there. I guess the most famous band he's ever been in was a band called Watchtower, and they came out, I think, in the late 80s, early 90s, and so they're kind of a cult band out of Texas. He's also been in a band called Seven Witches,
okay.
and he's been in a band called Hades. I first met Alan in 2010, and we were kind of playing. We were playing in Seven Witches together. We were doing some live gigs, and I would listen to him sing, and I was like, wow, this guy sings with such power, but he can really sing really well, and he's got this tough, heavy metal voice that you don't really hear too much these days. You know, most guys, when they're singing metal these days, are very operatic, but there's, you know, not enough toughness out there. So I thought he would be perfect. So I approached him. He heard the stuff. He loved the stuff. And he came into the studio, and he just did an amazing job. I was just, like, so impressed and so happy that, you know, I had somebody this great on my CD. So, you know, he definitely likes the stuff, and he's itching to do another one.
Well, now, it must have been cool for you to have the support of your Symphony X bandmates on this album. It must be kind of nice going into the studio with people you're familiar with.
Yeah, you know, the guys in the band were very supportive, especially Michael Romeo, our guitar player. He wanted to help me, and I couldn't have done it without him. I mean, he recorded the whole album for me. He also played some lead guitar along with Metal Mike. He played some keyboards for me, and he did some orchestration, and he actually programmed the drums for me. So he was a vital part of the whole project. And our keyboard player, Michael Pinella, he came down and he helped out with a lot of the backing vocals and that kind of thing. So, yeah, having the support of the band really felt great, and you know, and I think it really helped make the album that much better.
So have you had any chance to play any of these songs live?
You know, I've been tooling around with that idea for a long time, and so I finally kind of decided that I think I want to do some shows with the project. Now, some of the guys who played on it, you know, wouldn't be able to play live, but I definitely have the singer, Alan, so I'll play with him and a couple of other musicians. So I'm getting some guys together now, and we'll probably do, you know, hopefully a couple of high-profile shows in between the Symphony X tours next year.
That would be cool.
That'd be very cool. Now, there's a big difference between the music on the Silent Assassin CD and what Symphony X usually does. What has been the reaction of the Symphony X fans to your solo project?
That's a great question. You know, at first, when before I released the record, I definitely was a little worried, you know, because, you know, the Symphony X fans expect a certain style from me. That's what I was thinking, but happily I was wrong. When I did release the album, the Symphony X fans really embraced it, and they really supported me as well. So, you know, that was great, because I think even though it's a different style, there were a lot of Symphony X elements that I put in there, especially the way I structured some of the songs, and with some of the orchestration that's in there. So it has definitely a little bit of a Symphony X flavor along with the classic heavy metal style. So, yeah, I mean, happily they all liked it pretty much, and so that was a load off my mind on that one.
Well, right now, speaking of Symphony X, you guys have a new album out. What's the plans for some tours of Symphony X going on?
Yes, Symphony X has a new album out, and it's called Underworld. It got released only a couple months ago, and so far what we've been doing with that is last September and October we did a full tour of the U.S. and Canada. So, and we actually co-headlined with Overkill on that one. So that was a really, really cool tour.
Yeah.
Couple of diverse bands in there, and you know, their fans liked what we were doing, and vice versa. Definitely a cool tour. The next thing we have on our plate is in February. We're going to do a 5-week tour of Europe, and I love touring Europe. The fans are always so good to us over there, so that's going to be killer. And then some tentative things after that is South America and then Japan. So next year we're definitely going to be very busy. So hopefully with that and doing a few spotty Silent Assassin show in there, most of your listeners will see me at some point.
Sweet.
Now, I also wanted to talk to you about your participation with our good friend Veronica Freeman on her solo project, and I also wanted to talk about your stellar acting in the video for Again.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you get any awards or anything for that yet?
I was expecting a nomination for an Academy Award, but maybe they just lost my number.
People's Choice
or MTV Video Awards. Or
I know. I was expecting the calls to come pouring in. Maybe they still will.
Yeah.
I met Veronica. We started talking probably around 2011, I think. And we started talking through Facebook. The band she was in, Benedictum, they were trying to maybe get an opening slot on a Symphony X tour. So, we were talking about that stuff. And, in between all the business, we were definitely becoming good friends. And we kept in touch throughout the years. And, I've always wanted to work with Veronica because I think she is the best female metal singer out there, in my opinion.
Amen.
Dude, you're not alone. She's number one for me, too. Hearing her live, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, while all these other women are singing opera, this girl comes out, Veronica comes out, and she just sings with power and passion. And, man, that's so refreshing, So when she decided to do a solo album, she was nice enough to ask me if I would play on one of the songs. And so I heard the song King for a Day, and she was singing with, the old Black Sabbath singer. So I was like, wow, this is so cool. And, the song was right up my alley, very Black Sabbath sounding. So I had a really great time playing on it. So that was cool. And then she approached me about a video. And I thought that would be fun, So I just went in there. Didn't take long. I was just there a couple hours, and, I didn't even know what I was doing, but they said I did it okay, so so that was fun too. And she shot that right here in New Jersey, so it was no big deal. So yeah, we're just great friends. And when Symphony X on this latest tour, when we came through where she lives, she came out to the show, and we had a great time. So it's always great hanging out with Veronica.
Now, when I listened to Silent Assassins, the only thing that I noticed that was missing was cowbell. Mm-hmm. Now,
something?
Any idea, any chance you remaster it and send it out with some cowbell?
Wow, that was a huge oversight on our part. No cowbell.
Especially the song Silent Assassins really needs cowbell, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Now that you bring that up, wow, that could really...
It would make it the number one album. It would make it the number one album in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we love cowbell.
Yeah, the number one album between 3rd Avenue and 5th Street in Wisconsin would be the best.
Well, we're going to play another track off the Silent Assassins CD. But, Mike, if your fans want to know where to keep up with you, where's the best places?
Okay, well, I have a fan page on Facebook, and you just look up Mike LePond Silent Assassins, and on that page I'll tell you everything I'm doing, and it gives you information to buy the Silent Assassin stuff, and then also for Symphony X, Symphony X has everything you want, SymphonyX.com, and we also have a fan page on Facebook, and with Symphony X, as far as that goes, you can find out anything about us like anywhere, so it's a lot easier.
Sweet.
Okay, well, cool. We're going to play the track "The Outsider" from the Silent Assassin CD. Any story behind this one?
Well, The Outsider basically is taken from a short story by the same name by an author named H.P. Lovecraft. And for your listeners who might not know who he is, he's kind of like an Edgar Allan Poe guy. He has short stories, horror, and that kind of thing. So The Outsider, when I read it, it was like my favorite short story, so I definitely wanted to write a song about it. The riff is probably my favorite riff that I ever wrote, so hopefully everyone will enjoy it.
All right, well, Mike LePond, you are always welcome back here on Rock and Metal Revival.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and when I have some more news, I'd be happy to come back.
To catch the whole show of Rock and Metal Revival, all you have to do is check it out on these affiliates. Mega Rock Radio's on Saturdays from 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and on Uncontrolled Noise Tuesdays at 1 a.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on UncontrolledNoise.com. And make sure that you leave them a message and tell them that you found Rock and Metal Revival on their stations. Enjoy this edition of Rock and Metal Revival.